to provide continuity with the building's neighbors in the skyline. Now, in front of us and up to the right, this dark steel rectangular tower is the American Medical Association Plaza. AMA Plaza was originally IBM Tower, finished in 1973, designed by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. Now, Mies van der Rohe was a pioneer of international style architecture, defined with dark steel, minimal ornamentation, and rectangular patterns. You see, Mies van der Rohe's philosophy was that architects should focus almost exclusively on making the insides of buildings as useful as possible, rather than focusing on making the outsides ornate. The resulting international style was revolutionary for the 1940s when he started his career, and AMA Plaza there is from 1970. Not all of his students ended up liking rectangles nearly as much as he did. On the right side of the boat, these two circular towers are called Marina City. They were designed by one of Mies van der Rohe's students. Marina City is from 1968 by Bertrand Goldberg. Goldberg was inspired by nature. He said there are no right angles or square shapes in nature. He wanted to build round, natural-looking shapes for humans to live in. In addition, look at that parking ramp. It's already a bit behind us, but those winding spiral parking ramps on Marina City. When Marina City went up in the 60s, Goldberg filled Marina City with amenities. It had its own grocery store, movie theater, bowling alley, skating rink, marina, and parking structures. Now, having seen the Marina City parking ramps, you might have gotten nervous imagining cars falling right off and into the river. Well, there's no need to worry. That's only happened twice. That's true. But the whole truth that I should tell you is that it never happened on accident or due to foul play. Both times were filmed stunts. Once for Steve Mc's building on the right is a window to the river's industrial past. That's the Reed Murdoch Center. The Reed Murdoch Center is 110 years old by George Nimmons. It was originally a canned goods warehouse back when the river was our port. Ships would come in from the lake and dock at warehouses like this to load and unload goods. It's a mixed-use office building today, but it remains a window to the river's more industrial past. We do still have a commercial port on Lake Michigan in Chicago. The Port of Chicago is on the south side. Directly ahead of us is a tall rectangular glass tower that says Salesforce on it. That's because it's the Salesforce Tower. The Salesforce Tower was just finished last year, designed by Pelly Clark Pelly, which is the legacy firm of Cesar Pelli. The land that it stands on was a parking lot till about 20 years ago. Thanks to modern technology, the trains cross the river completely undetectable. Developing things like parking lots is one of the ways that new skyscrapers can find spaces to get built in a city that's already developed. That was the case for the Salesforce Tower. Now, directly to the right is an extra-large and in-charge limestone behemoth on the right side of the boat. That's the Merchandise Mart. The Merchandise Mart is Art Deco style. Art Deco is defined with vertical lines and stair-stepping setbacks, how it gets narrower the higher up you go. The Merch Mart was designed by Graham Anderson Probst and White and bankrolled by Marshall Field's department stores to consolidate their many warehouses around the city into one giant warehouse downtown on the river. It's a mixed-use office building today, and up until 2008, the U.S. Postal Service gave the Merch Mart its own zip code. That was 60654. Postal code, zip code or postal code. Now, the Merchandise Mart also was the largest building in the world in 1932, 400,000 square meters of floor space, which is about 4.2 million square feet. Now, if you look around here, right around here is where the three branches of the Chicago River meet. The main branch is behind us, the north branch is to the right, and the south branch is to the left. This fork in the river is called Wolf Point. No one knows where the name Wolf Point came from, but the name Wolf Point is older than the city of Chicago. Now let's actually bounce to the left side of the boat. On the left side of the boat is this curved green glass building. The green glass building on the left is 333 West Wacker Drive. It's by Cohn, Pedersen, and Fox from 1983. And it's a great example of contextual architecture that's matching the surroundings. Green glass to match the greenish river water, and the building curves to match the bend in the river where it's built, matching the surroundings like that. That's contextualism. Now, we'll stick to the left here. Don't worry, I'll talk about that one on the right when we come back up the river, but for now we'll stick to the left. Now, after the Lake Street Bridge, on the left side of the boat, this red brick building is the Great Lakes Building. It's from 1912. It stands on the location, though, where in 1860, here on the left, there was a temporary convention center called the Wigwam, which hosted the convention that nominated Abraham Lincoln to run for president, right there where that brick building from 1912 stands today. Now, if you look forward and to the left, you have a quick view there of one of my favorite little spots in Chicago that I hope you'll have a chance to try out. The thing about Starbucks is that Chicago was the first city outside. Tower on the left is Bank of America Tower. Bank of America Tower on the left is quite new. It's from 2021, designed by Getch Partners Architects. Now, this one replaced what was a 6-story concrete office building, just sort of a relatively boring office building, not seen as being historically significant. So when that was sold, the new owner decided to tear down that old 6-story building to try and find someone to build a nice shiny skyscraper on the site instead. So that's another way new skyscrapers can get built, is just by tearing down an old building that isn't a historic landmark. That was the case for Bank of America. Now, in front of us and up to the left, this is one of my very favorites on the left. This is the Civic Opera Building. The Civic Opera Building is from 1928 by Graham Anderson Probst and White. It's our oldest and noisiest bridge. It's 110 years old. Anyway, this building on the left is from 1928 by Graham Anderson Probst and White, home of the second largest opera auditorium in the United States, 3,500 seats. And if you look up at the whole building, look at the whole opera house up to the left, it resembles a giant throne. It had a year till he went bankrupt. Wanted the opera house to be a throne overlooking his railway business empire to the west, and turning his back to New York, where he was snubbed to be CEO. His Graham Anderson Probst and White probably designed those narrow floor plans independently of Mr. Insel to allow for cross ventilation. Letting the breeze cross through the windows easily was very important before air conditioning, and those narrow floor plans allowed for nice cross breezes. Now, I better have you look way up to the left, because ahead of us to the left and way up, you can see that dark steel tower with 2 white antennas on top. That is the tallest building in the city of Chicago, the dark tower with 2 antennas. We will get a much better view of it in a moment. That's the tallest building in the city. The name of it is spelled W-I-L-L-I-S, pronounced Sears Tower. Its original name was Sears Tower. Its official name, since 2002, has been Willis Tower. But in our hearts, for the most part, Willis Tower is still Sears Tower. Now, it is the tallest